Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. So welcome to another episode of Hearns at Home, I guess.
It must be Friday. I can't tell anymore.
It must be Friday.
One day seems the same as the other, but when we have to come to our at-home show, I know it's a Friday.
Excellent.
Indeed. Evening, Tony. So got a few people jumping in line. Looks like it's going to be a busy night.
How is everybody tonight?
Yeah, tell us in the comments what's the plan for the weekend. How's everything going? So episode 65, and we have a lot of things on. So there is a car of the week. There's some 3D printed Hearns workshop bits to present. We've got a competition to talk about.
Yes.
A couple of unboxing. What else? I've got my Traxxas finally. Bluetooth modules so I can fix my steering. So that's the most important project for the week. We have some trains, actually. Some trains tonight that we haven't had for some time. So Marlon is going to join us soon, talking about trains at some point. What else? There's Brett's box. I'm sure there'll be Brett's box.
Brett's box has got a bit in it. It's got a bit. It's not the biggest box I've ever seen, but it's not always the size of the box. It's what's in it.
That's
exactly.
Right.
All right. So Jason, Con, Nick, Noel, welcome everyone. Very good.
Absolutely.
Well, so where do we start? The car of the week?
Yeah,
we can start with the car. That's in my capable hands tonight, or so I'm told.
Oh dear.
All right,
give it away.
If nothing else, at least I'll give it a crash test. I don't know exactly how close that we should get this car.
I think it's already too close.
So what do we need to know? We need to know the brand of the car, the make, I guess a livery, which is pretty obvious now, isn't it? And the year.
Would be a good start.
All right, put it away.
Put it away. A
Mm.
beautiful feature about that one, it's actually got the window half down, which is a really cool thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Guys, we have Marlon joining us, so let me put up Marlon as well. Evening, Marlon.
Hey, Marlon, how you doing?
Very good. So we're all here, ready to go.
Marlon's bringing a bit of 5.2G to the world. Welcome, Marlon.
Well, thank you. Good to be
How you
here.
doing, mate? How you feeling?
I feel fine. Yeah, I feel pretty good.
That is great news.
Got my first jab.
We're going to have live the first hour after the jab. Documented. Very good. Cool. So, Tony obviously received his order with one of those sets by the look of it. All right, let's see if we can everyone see it. So Tony has one of those, and he feels a bit of pressure because it's going to have to be delivered in the next, 2 weeks, BJ?
No, I think there's only 1 week left.
Oh, dear.
Only 1 week.
The pressure too, then.
Yeah, me too. I haven't really gone very far.
I'm sure Tony's got nothing else on his bench to do.
So what's the plan with the competition? So everyone, we are running a competition that started a good 3 weeks ago, by the look of it now, 2.5 or so.
Yeah, about 2.5.
2.5, yeah. So it's a bit different. So we have included one of these sets as part of the competition. So could it be purchased for $15 as a one-off, or if you spend $150, you're going to get one of those in the first week of the competition. And I guess it's up to you what you're going to do with it. So this is part of the Hearns Workshop product range, and get creative. So what are the rules of the competition, Bidge?
So basically you need one of those sets to start with. So you need the figure set. If you don't have one already, you can get one from our website. You'll be able to find the links on our competition, actually. So the competition is on the Facebook events page. Just click on there, and then when you look at the description, it'll have a little link on where to get the figure. And then with the figure itself, the more of the accessories that you include in the figure, the more points you get. And you just have to build it into a little vignette. So a vignette is like a mini diorama just for the figure. So a little base. Actually, I should go and get a couple that I had started on and show you what it's all about.
Is there something that you've prepared earlier, BJ? I'm sure you've got one, Nick. Where's your one, Nick?
Yeah. It's a bit dark. It's a bit dark, isn't it?
He's got it.
Let me put some light on it.
He's got his brand new Jordans on.
He's got a Jordans. Actually, I have printed a Jordan as well. Let me see if I can still find it here. So let me get some tweezers because they're in 1/35 scale. So these are. Oh dear.
Let me get.
Oh my
There
lord!
we go.
This blue tack to keep it all together. Yeah.
Probably focusing on my hand more than on the shoes. Here we go. So for all that don't know what they are, they're the Jordan 1 the shoes that I normally wear every day, and they're in 35 scale. So I think they're going to be part of the of my vignette. Here you go. So you're going to have a skull, a luggage, skull, a luggage. It's very dark actually. If you can put a light, skull, luggage, and some shoes.
It's just like coming to work on a Monday.
Indeed, pretty much.
Wow,
So
what's
there
your
you
one doing, BJ?
So mine's got a bit of a stick on it with a bit of a bush. And he's got the skull head on that one. And this one here is like the basic figure. And he's going to have a giveaway sign at the back there. And I was going to do it so that it looked like it was raining. So we're going to try and do the rain effects again on this one. So I've got 2 on the go.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so the competition is meant to
So
finish
you're only going
next
to enter
Friday.
the best one, are you, Beach?
Hey?
You're only going to enter the best one?
I'm going to enter both of them. I can't actually enter, really.
Well, that sounds a bit
You're gonna
rigged
have
that
an
you've got
internal
2 and everybody
competition.
else has only got 1.
Well, you can buy as many as you like, really. You can enter as many times as you want.
How is your
Yeah, so
going,
that's
Brad?
what I'm doing, just to give you some ideas.
My one I misplaced. I think it fell out of my box last week. Yeah,
Still under the bench, still under the
yeah,
table.
somewhere.
Good on you. Cool. So competition, guys, is we've got a Facebook page. Actually, should have prepared the link, but you can
there's already
enter
one entry in there.
I guess everyone is still busy. Everyone will be entering the last minute because this competition is to be quite intense, I guess. So let me find the link for everyone. I think I'm going to be doing a bit of work this weekend, so I can put up a couple of pictures on the competition page.
Yeah.
I'm going to have the link in a second. Here we go. Coming. So if you're working on this, just feel free to send through some photos, pop them on the competition page perhaps as well. Here it is. Here we go. Here we go. So jump in there, you can see all the details. Very good. So we have Sam coming online. So Sam is still in Queensland. Hello, Sam. I was meant to call you this week. I didn't get to it, so we'll chat tomorrow maybe.
Hello,
Very good.
Richard.
No,
I'd love to see Sam's tan. Sam must have a killer tan by now.
I think so too. I think so. So far, first guess of the car. Are we close?
Oh.
We
That's got to
could
be
be
pretty
close.
close, yeah.
We could be close, but I don't know. Are we?
Are we not?
Well, I don't know. Keep guessing. I don't have a color code yet.
Hi, Brett.
Can I have a look underneath?
Oh, that's a bit rude, isn't
Not
it?
yet.
It's only got a single pipe. That could have given it away. I'm
Very
going to
good.
put that
Let's
one
start
back
this
down.
one. All right. So where do we start? Is that train going to make a start this week for once?
Train's gonna make a
How
start.
ready are you, Marlon?
Yeah, I could make a start with trains. So
You should do it while you got good hook up there, Marlon.
let me
Oh.
let me know if I'm displaying any symptoms. But so far, I feel pretty good.
No, your internet connection is great.
Oh, that's excellent. I feel like it's a good frame rate. But I've got a lot of mini trains to talk about. We got a big restock of mini trains. So that's it's a German company, German made, narrow gauge, HO. Technically, it's H0E scale, but the closest translation is 009. I'll show you what I mean by that. But basically, it's HO scale in narrow gauge, which is like the most popular scale, but like the smaller version of it. So I'll just show you guys real quick. It's a really cool set. Just getting all the plastic bits out of the way. It's not very exciting to show that. almost there.
The suspense is killing me.
Oh, oh look at
Wow. Oh,
that.
All right, so this set is the what's
This
that?
set was.
It's the Zillertalbahn, which is it's a small railway in Western Austria, like in the Alps. Really, really pretty part of the country. And this sort of makes up a train set that is part of that railway network. So it's primarily tourism. Didn't break it. Very durable. Minitrains, very well made. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. But cute little, like early 20th, late 19th century sort of European style carriages. You've got like a Zillerbahn written on the sides and quite like nice Germanic lettering and just nice detailing there on the walkways either side. So you get two of these beautiful carriages, which are really lovely. And then you also get this really nice little tiny steam locomotive as well. Very small. But this is 1/87 scale. So it's a pretty big scale, relatively speaking, but they're just really, really small trains in real life. The benefit of that is it's a good compromise between for example, like scale that's really easy to model with, I can do a lot of detail work, and also having a layout that's really small and quite compact. And I'll just show you guys an example of what I've been working on. So this is a 009 size layout. This is sort of work in progress. I've just got the track laid. Basically the track gauge is the same as N gauge, if you guys are familiar with that, which is 9 millimeters between the rail. But they actually make proper 009 gauge scaled track, so the sleepers are all the correct like HO style scale. This is what they call, we affectionately call it crazy track, but Pico
really compact.
This, yeah, they call this irregular sleepers because all the sleepers are like very roughly laid, like a rural branch line for a narrow gauge railway would be. So this is really teeny, and this like smaller narrow gauge system allows you to build something really, really small, like something that you could put on a coffee table or put inside of a bookcase or something, and go nuts on detail. So yeah, you can have quite a nicely detailed model railway without having lots of space, and that's becoming more and more of a premium.
How did you attach the track onto the foam?
What I did originally was so looking at that again. Like this is flex track. So when you buy this, it's just a straight piece that you can flex into any kind of curve radii you want. I had some smaller radius track that I used as a template to get the curvature right, and I put that on the inside. Then when I did that, I actually sort of used track laying nails to sort of pin down the sleepers in various spots. I actually used a God Hands pin vise.
Just like these, got better.
Just like that, yeah, just like that.
Got better. Quite a lot better.
Really small, because the track-laying nails are really small diameter. They would have been like a 0.4 of a mil, I think. And then once I sort of got that all worked out, I sort of worked out how many sleepers I need to go where I had to drill the holes. And I also got some white glue, some PVA white glue, and also sort of put that down underneath, and then just systematically went through. Now that it's glued down, I've actually removed the nails because they were sort of just to help put it into place. But because they show on the surface, I just felt like I could remove them and it looks a bit better. But yeah, this is going to have some really nice scenery on it. It's going to have a watermill on it. And we're going to do like a river down the middle. I've already started working on what's going to be an arch bridge. I've just got to cut this out. And some trees and a big rock cutting, and it's going to be a work in progress over the next couple of weeks or months. And then hopefully I'll be able to take it all over the place and show people, which will be really fun. Yeah.
I've always wanted to make a little layout. I've talked about it. Haven't started yet. I've got the bits.
You bought the trains as well, didn't you?
Oh, I did. I've got a little mini trains, little loco too.
So you're pretty much set. You've just got to put in the time then.
Yeah, I know.
the most amazing
project.
first of all. But yeah, this is lovely. This is a real lovely set. If you're really interested in getting started in narrow gauge railways, like a small set like this, it's so small. Like a lot of HO scale locomotives are longer than this entire train, but yeah, it's a good little setup. So it's a good introduction to that. There's been a few other interesting products in the pipeline with Minitrains. There's a narrow gauge railway that runs out on the, and this is contemporary, runs out on the West German sort of Dutch border, and it's an ExxonMobil industrial line. So they have a refinery out there or something. And from what I understand, the terrain isn't really well suited to trucks. It's very soft soil. They have a lot of peat moors in that part of the country. And even though narrow gauge trains are quite, I guess, quaint and antiquated in a lot of places, they're still the best method for moving a lot of raw resources and minerals in places like that. So they released, it's a German company called Schoma that manufactures these trains like the real ones, and they've been doing this for many decades. And they've released a scale version of that now.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so they've done it in 3 different colors. So you get this nice red with the yellow pinstriping and that nice sort of motif at the front. So it's
the same color as the car of the week.
It is actually.
Yeah,
Golden arches.
It's a different oil company though.
It's making me hungry.
ExxonMobil, yeah. It has a very fast food style colors, doesn't it? But yeah, it's a cute little thing, and it's good if you are interested in doing a modern layout in narrow gauge, because there still are a few lines that exist around the world, particularly in Europe. So that's one really nice example of that. They even Minitrains went to the extent of actually modeling the ExxonMobil oil tankers.
Oh.
And if there's actually really good footage online that enthusiasts have posted of this particular railway. It's quite a short network from my understanding, but they even have these small purpose-built like tank wagons with these big walkways on top.
Wow.
It's quite nice.
Really
They don't
cool,
really
actually.
work 2 or 3 of them at a time, but it's a really unique design, and it was cool that they produced such a niche item, really. I don't think anywhere else in the world runs these. But the locomotives are the same prototype that pulls these as well, so you can do a really accurate scene if that's something that really interests you. And also to go with the red locomotive, they've done these with matching pinstriping. They've done these carriages.
That's cool.
So it's like an open-ended, open-windowed, like a tourist train passenger carriage, which is really nice. So if you've got some HO or 00 scale seated figures, you can fit a whole bunch of them in there and really bring that to life. I think it would be nice. You could have a conductor sort of standing on the end platform. So yeah, they're really cute little things, nicely detailed for their size.
No, they do a really good job.
Lots of personality. And that's one of the things I like about these little narrow gauge railways, is that they're all different. They've all found different ways to solve problems, and you can have a lot of fun with that. You can sort of think out of the box with it. A lot of people who model narrow gauge are very creative and sort of come up with their own railways and locations, and they're not as sort of concerned with like the prototypical details. They don't count the rivets as much, I guess, but there's so much detail that usually goes into these little narrow gauge setups. So yeah, it's pretty great. I'm really excited to see some new product from Minitrains, because it's the first thing we've seen from them for quite a while, but they really nailed it. I think they did a really good job.
Definitely. They look really good.
I agree. It's always exciting when they release something new. Do you have the white one as well there? Or can I show the white one?
Oh, do you have the white one?
I have the white one, isn't it?
Oh.
So is this the same as the one you just showed before?
It is, yeah.
Right?
It's white, Nick.
Different color. So I really like this one. That's the same. So there's 2 or 3 different colors, correct?
Yes, there's 3. There's a green one as well, but the one that you're holding is the one that actually pairs with these carriages most accurately. Yeah. So it's really, really nice. I like the handrails that they've applied to the sides and like along the hood as well. Really cool.
It seems quite weird that they would have white trains to carry black oil, no? Is
Well,
it
it's
just
easy
me?
to clean. It'd probably be easier to clean up if they had black trains carrying black oil, but
That's what I would have thought.
maybe it's
So
a clean operation. Maybe it's a really clean operation, and they're making a point. I don't know.
Maybe.
Have you heard of the
Maybe.
Exxon Valdez?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I've heard of that. That was the Alaskan coast, I think, in the late 80s. Yeah. That wasn't a clean operation.
I'm tipping that boat wasn't white.
Definitely. Very good. Have you got anything else there, Marlon?
I do, actually. Yeah, I've had interesting painting adventures over the last
Should we leave your painting adventure for later?
painting adventures. I think a few weeks ago, it was probably a while ago, I showed my lunchbox that I was working on. And at the time it was yellow. And in the end, I wasn't really that satisfied with how it turned out. I don't think I keyed the plastic very well for primer. And when I started masking up the final details, the paint was actually starting to pull away from the plastic when I removed the masking tape. So I thought, well, by the time I got to that point, I'm like, shouldn't really go any further, because if you don't have a good foundation, then it doesn't really matter how good the rest of the paint's going to look. So I went back to the drawing board, and I came up with a new scheme. It was very, very cool in the end.
Look at that. Shiny.
How cool is that?
So I went for like a really 70s, you know, brown as brown can be. I think this is TS1, to me a red brown, out of their lacquer spray cans. It turned out really nice. And then I sprayed these with the airbrush, all SMS colors. I've got SMS red, tangerine orange, and citronella yellow, and they just really pop really nicely, especially with the clear coat over the top, which just needed another coat or two and then maybe a polish. But then I had a bit of an accident. I had a situation where I like to leave models. I like to leave my models when they're drying, usually underneath the reverse cycle heating vent. You know, get the heat on the paint, help it cure faster, and also like get a bit of sunlight in. You know, use everything that I can, especially now that it's cold, to sort of help these things dry. And what I did was I actually set this up near my dining room window on my dining room table, and I have this lamp. I'll actually show you. It's a lamp that I'm using to help light my face right now. It's a magnifier lamp. Oh, yeah. You can see the back there. So I sort of was using that to sort of study the paint, just to check out, see if there were any blemishes or things I had to clean up. And I left the magnifier lens over the model. And I positioned it in such a way that while I was gone for the day, when I came home, I found out that the sun came through the window and went through the lens and actually burned a hole in my model. Couldn't even believe it. Like, it's the kind of thing that if you tried to set that up, you probably couldn't make it happen.
Doesn't work.
And I guess it just was in the right spot, the right angle. It's real nasty. It just burned all the way through, right where the trim is. Right when this model was like 90% finished, like right at the end. I was so happy to sort of get this thing finished and just sort of stand back and be like, it's done, and then work on something else. But yeah, weird freak accident. I accidentally used a magnifying lens to burn my model while I was away. So
at least you knew the paint was dry.
What's that?
At least you knew that it was going to dry the paint.
Well, it certainly dried the paint. Yeah, the paint is very dry, particularly in this area right here. I'm really grateful.
Could be a good way to slow cook a chicken during the day.
It could be just spots of it, you know, not the whole chicken, but just like one particular area. But what I'm grateful of is that I didn't burn my house down. You know,
yeah, that's a plus.
It's a sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice that I think is worthy given the alternative. Burning a hole in my dining room table that I just built, or burning my house down. So I'm kind of okay with that. But I think what we'll do is we'll get some epoxy putty and sand that down, cut out the bad bits, and we'll fix it from there. So bit of a disappointment, but everything's fixable and everything is a lesson learned. Be very careful with your magnifying lenses. Don't leave them around in the direct sunlight.
Well, that body's been a bit of a mule, hasn't it?
That's
a
it.
learning mule.
It's indeed a learning mule. I just don't want to have to paint it a third time. But,
Indeed.
but it's actually, in hindsight, it's actually really funny, and I just thought it would be cool to show everybody.
Indeed.
Very
Good stuff.
cool.
Go on. Very good. So I think we have some progress on the car.
Oh,
I just park it here.
yeah. What are we looking at?
I'm not
Let me
sure.
put-
What colour's the
Oh,
roof?
look
Blue,
Is it-
black,
BJ.
pink. I'm just going through different colors.
You give
Green.
it away.
Brown.
No, now it is indeed a EH Holden. It probably is Ampol red. But yeah, what a fantastic and beautiful scale model that Classic Collectibles have knocked out of the park.
So where's the window?
See what I mean about the window half down?
Ah,
It's pretty nice, actually. This is very,
It's
very well
actually got a-
finished.
It's really well finished. Got a beautiful bed. It's also got a cover for the bed, which I've got in the box still. Yeah, and beautiful instrumentation. Beautiful Venetian blind in the back. Really nice model.
Engine details and everything.
I really like the sun visor. That was a very popular option on cars in the 60s and 70s, and you don't see that anymore. But that's a really nice detail that they've added.
It almost looks like my hat, doesn't it?
a little bit of a
Definitely.
So what's the
I don't
service
know
unit?
I don't know what it's going to do for your downforce at turn 1, but I'm sure that it looked cool at the time. One thing I really like about these Classic Collectibles, and maybe it's just me, but they have really, really nice bonnet hinges. I'm going to really try and get in there, but I just can't do it. They are really scale, and the bonnet hinges. I'm all backwards and back to front.
Oh yeah.
Can you see that?
That's it. Oh, wow. That's impressive. That's
They
nice.
are such a nice bonnet hinge. And for somebody who's worked on a few cars in his time, you learn to appreciate a good hinge. So there we have it. An EH Holden in Ampol red. And yeah, I would be really big with Holden collectors. You've obviously got your Australiana and your gasoline. So Classic Collectibles really trying to capture a big market, which I think they're going to do with this beautiful model.
That's very popular. I think they released a similar, a different scheme actually a year or so ago. BJ, do you remember? Was a bit more kind of cream yellow kind of color. It was exactly the same model with similar features, but different sponsors and such.
It was the yellow golden fleece one.
Oh, golden
Wasn't
fleece.
it?
Yeah.
It was the golden
That's right.
fleece one, and golden fleece was a yeah, I suppose it was the epitome of Australiana, probably fuel memorabilia. I think anybody who's collecting Australiana fuel memorabilia will have something golden fleece for sure.
Connie's saying that Ampol is back instead of Caltex branding.
That's right. They are
I didn't
taking
know
over
that.
some of the Caltex servos.
Interesting. Very good.
I like
All
your
right.
poster in the background there, Beach.
Which one?
I like it too. I'm jealous actually.
Can you see it? It's a bit small, I think.
It's orange.
What's that?
This is a most wanted car,
Brand
RC
spanking
car
new.
of the moment.
I
We've
think
been
this
waiting
has
for
to
this
be
car for a long time, and
I think it
finally
has to be
came.
yeah. Sounds like a segue to RC stuff.
Yeah. And
So,
we only
We had
received one.
Traxxas this
obviously.
week, didn't we?
We did receive Traxxas.
And how anticipated was that Bronco?
Very.
So
Oh my
anticipated
God.
that we didn't even manage to see it.
There was like 3 3 or 6 that came and went across the system, and we didn't even get to open a box or anything. So hopefully we get another shipment before Christmas. Who knows? But these Broncos have just been so anticipated, and I think they've actually got a lot of good features, and so they should be. You know, they got no body clips, I think, which is a huge thing for crawler guys.
I just look at it. It looks really cool, doesn't it? I mean, the overall shapes of it.
It's a lot more realistic. I think there's a lot more detail actually compared to the previous models.
It'd look really cool. I'm just glad that we sold them all. Otherwise, I would have been opening one tonight for sure. They would have been running around chasing the cat.
And the dog.
And dog, that's right.
Indeed. Very good. So Trax has arrived. So lots of restock. The X Max is back in stock, which is good fun. Yep. And there should be another restock around November, and that's it really. So stock is going to be limited, unfortunately. So if you see a Trax that you like, you jump on it.
Fingers crossed on that, because we just can't seem to keep it on the shelves at the moment.
Yeah.
And like I said, for very good reason. Traxxas really have got the ready-to-run market sewing up. They're making really good products, and I can see why they're so popular. They've got heaps of social media, and they've got this fantastic module.
Oh, what is it? This is my module. This module, I think I put it on my radio about, I don't know, 6 or 7 times, and I keep selling it because it's it's a great tool. It's it connects the radio to your phone, and it's really useful when you need to adjust virtually anything. You need to update the software of your speed controllers and the car itself, but also when you need to adjust your servos for your endpoints when you put a new server or whatsoever. This is really useful because the Traxxas radio, it's obviously quite basic. So if you need to adjust anything, you need to work with these 2 little buttons and the wheel and go through a menu and just checking the number of blinks that you get to go to the next menu. So it's very convoluted to actually adjust anything through this radio. But once you have this little module, you simply attach it at the back here, like this way, and off you go. And once you turn on your radio, this should connect to your phone.
And the interface on your phone is
and you end up with a dashboard.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. Let's see if it connects to the internet.
I can do it from here, Nick.
You can do it. You can control my car.
I've had both of my jabs. Turn your radio on.
Yeah, it's on. It's actually connected, isn't it?
So through this app, and you can do everything from reversing your servos, adjusting your TSM, which is the Traxxas stability management. You can simulate drag racing. You can so many things. Like Nick said, the first thing you want to do when you get a Traxxas is, you'll probably upgrade a steering servo at some point. So to do your endpoints and your drill rate, you can do it all on the phone, and it is one of the best features of Traxxas models. I wish
you have telemetry. So if you have a crawler, you can see the angle of inclination, which is really important, like really interesting actually. If you have I think the X Max and some of this car, you can get speed. You can get RPM, battery voltage, and all this kind of things, really. So it's a really good thing. And again, shows how Traxxas come out with a radio, which is very simple, very effective, solid. Does have a really good feel on the trigger and the wheel. And then they give you an extra module to get this radio to become almost a computerized radio, like our racing radio to a degree. And that's, I guess, why they're so successful, because the product is simple but effective.
And it's usable, and it saves you having 100 buttons on your transmitter, or a touch phone on a touch screen on your transmitter. So you can have quite a robust and strong transmitter that you're not going to bump and knock all the controls out of, and it's safe for a kid, and you can put it down like on the grassy oval or whatever while you change your battery in your rustler. It's a really good thing.
And this one is very tiny. It's such a small module, and it's very easy to replace. So in the case you have 2, 3, 4 cars, you can swap around from car to car. So you don't need to have one of these little gadgets per car that you have. And quite a few of us end up with a couple of different cars. Could be a crawler and and a Raster or an X-Max or so. So it's very convenient to have one of those, and you can do all your adjustments at any given time. So
Yeah, definitely very handy.
Because you would have to be, you'd have to be a madman to have something like an X-Max and like a 7PXR on it.
Oh, is it?
Who does that?
And the problem with that is that I didn't read the instruction. Does it say that it's not good?
No, I'm just jealous.
Yeah,
I don't have a 7PXR.
X-Max or 7PX?
Both.
Yes. Oh dear. We should have taken home today.
I could have. So
Anyway,
that's RC news. Other RC news, if Sam's still watching, is we had a huge shipment of long-awaited hot bodies parts.
Yeah.
HB Racing. And HB Racing is one of our hero brands at Hearns Group. And yeah, they're 1/8 scale buggies, truggies, GTE8s are forced to be reckoned with in any class that they race. The brand's getting stronger and stronger and taking off, and it's putting obviously a more and more load on the amount of people who, I can't say spare parts because they really don't seem to break or wear out much, but the tuning parts, and by that I mean like your B blocks, your caster hubs, your your C and D blocks, your pills, all that sort of tuning stuff. Yeah, has just gone through the roof to where we're getting huge quantities now, and it's really good that they've been able to supply us with a huge shipment. On our Australian market, it's really good. So
is it time for Brett's box?
Yeah, let's have a look in Brett's box. I may or may not have given it away. Talk amongst yourselves while I rustle this plastic.
No, we need to listen to the noise.
I've learnt this from BJ.
Yeah, there's an art to it. You're getting close to black belt.
I don't think you got the right plastic there.
I need a hobby knife for this one.
Be careful, they're sharp.
Not mine.
Change the blades. No?
If I do that, I'll cut myself. I use mine as a dirt pick, as a scraper, as everything but cutting things, other than tires.
They do a ceramic scraper as well.
Do they? So what we have here, it looks black and it looks round and it doesn't look exciting, but maybe it's just me because I've got such a tire fetish. But this is from P1 Performer. This is new tires that have just come into Australia, and this is the Gridlock version 3, and this is in a red compound. So this is your traditional soft long wear tire. So this would be good in warmer weather and longer finals. And this is the first time that we've had this in. And there's a complete range now of tires, and we've got them in compounds that include pink, yellow, and red. So we've got compound from I think it's 5 to 20, 12 to 25, and then we've got 20 to 35, which is the red compound. So, and we've got a few different treads in. So it's really good to have these because tires have been a bit of a nightmare of late for a lot of classes and a lot of people. So P1 Performer have really come to the party with some new tires. And like I said, these are new into Australia, and I'm excited and glad to have them. I won't start crying about the fact that I can't use them. All I can do is hope that people like Sam, come back to us and say, "Oh, I've used 50 pairs of tires and need more." Here we are.
So they've got the compound marked on the back, right, with a little coloured dot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something that's unique to every tire brand. These are pre-mounted, so no gluing, no further preparation really required. I'd probably go another step and potentially either run in the foam, bed the foam in, where we put the wheel either on a tire sander or a drill and run it on rollers to bed the foam in, and just texture exactly what tread and compound we've got, because that little dot will probably wear off. And then if you've got a bag full of tires like most of us do, it'll soon get lost for something else. So this one here is the Megabyte. No, I was right. So this one here is the Megabyte in a pink compound, and you can see how that is a lot different to the Gridlock V3.
Yep. Different carcasses as well. One is very flat and one is a lot more round.
Yeah. So this one here, you'd think it'd be used on a smoother, more oiled track, a more smoother track, but something with more of a groove. This one here will be used something where it's a little bit looser and a little bit more choppy. And it's got a little bit rounder. It's got a little bit more drive pins. Yeah. But P1 Performer make great products, and their tires are just some of it. So the limited testing that we had 6 months ago was really good and great, and that was all on the purple and pink compounds because we're coming into winter. Now we've got the yellows and the reds in stock to suit either the northern climates and us coming to summer. So
those compound numbers you were talking about before, they're the operating temperatures, are they?
That's what they're designed to operate in, yeah. And that doesn't necessarily mean what weather it is at the temperature. That's the temperature of the track.
Yeah.
So all rubbers, or all of our racing rubbers, are temperature sensitive, and they have like an operation window. So within that window of 15 to 25 degrees, they'll be working at their optimum and producing their most amount of traction or grip. Outside of that, it'll either be too cold or it'll be too warm, and they'll start squirming around and won't give you the ultimate control. So that's why we use different compounds, even in off-road. Yeah, people would think that off-road you would just have one knobbly tire like a dirt bike or something, but obviously they're very sensitive and very precious, and it's all in the aim of drivability and lap times.
Cool,
very good.
And the thing about these tires is they have a perfectly flat surface on them, which makes them really nice to take the next level and to dress up, as I have done here. Excuse me.
I'm sure you've seen yellow wheels.
I'm sure you've seen before. So this is in fact the same pink wheels, and these have a decal stuck on them. Yeah, so and you can get these in any color. They come in sets of 4, and they add a nice personal touch to your style to your car. I've got in pink, which is
just for
not only the compound of these tires, funnily enough, but it's also just a bit of a nod to old retro Yokomo. When I was a boy, that was the coolest thing to have on your car, was pink sticker discs.
Brilliant.
That is really cool.
So finally we have the full range.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that is really cool to have back in stock, again, with the plastic, and it seems like a very simplistic thing, but it's a sight for sore eyes on Australian shores, is our 8-scale wings.
Finally, the black wing is back.
Finally, the black back wing is back. Yeah, doesn't look like much, but obviously on an 8 scale, it's the highest part of the car, and usually is the part of the body or the exterior that cops most of the punishment, because that's where you land and that's where the weight goes. Not only that, but you'll have different holes tuned for different tuning guides and different setup options for your car. So yeah, good to have these back in. These have not been in store for a while. On another note, I know Sam's probably sitting on the edge of his seat. Yes, we do in fact have 20-tooth alloy servo horns back in, Sam. You will be able to sleep tonight. I know they have been a long time coming, and there's definitely one or more with your name on it. Now, to add to this wing, again, like I said, they take a remarkably hard time in off-road. what we have here is a product called a wing skin. Now that is a custom-made product by our local sticker man J-Spec up in Queensland, and he's made this specifically to fit this hot body's wing. You can get these in a range of colors and designs. I haven't had the pleasure of having one fitted yet, but watch this space for next week. This wing may be getting a wing skin put on it.
Cool.
Nice.
Because as you can see here, this one here has got it's a hot body's wing. It's in yellow, back when we had them 6 months ago, and you can see here it's got the go fast holes in it. That's what all the cool kids are doing down here, or they were 6 months ago. And I'm sure that hopefully Sam's got some good goss and for me and what holes to put in my new wing.
Cool.
What else is in Brett's box?
Where are you going?
This is something that is often probably not overlooked but taken for granted, and it's an alloy servo horn. Now most kits, I think probably all kits, whether it's 10 scale or 8 scale, do in fact come with servo horns, and that's to fit a range of servos. They'll usually come in a part tree to suit whether it's high-tech, KO, Futaba splines, because they do have different tooth splines. And as you want to upgrade your car, Aromax have come to the party here, and last week or last shipment, they've actually dropped on us this new adjustable servo horn. And I mean it. Yep.
Is that an adjustable point for the ball?
It is an adjustable point. So this is like triple. I wanted to say that this is triple anodized in that it's got black, white, and gold on it. So it's a very trick-looking piece of kit. And by adjustable, I mean that it has this sliding mechanism, so it can go from 17 mils throw. I don't know if I can get close enough, all the way up to 20. If you can see that there.
Oh yeah.
So, and you can measure it. So, and that's not always, and that can give you different feels on your car. Particularly, it's something that we adjust in, I want to say, four-wheel drive off-road, 10 scale, and touring car definitely. And that can be better than any adjustment on your expensive radio in regards to exponential net, because it's changing the sweep angle of the first linkage in your steering setup, which is the servo horn. So yeah, so that's really cool. So that can give a different feel, and that's a really good quality bit of kit, and it's not overly expensive, and it looks fantastic on the car. And the reason I've got that one here is because we've got a bit of a project retro car that's going to cop that.
Wow.
Ah. That's good.
Is that something to do with the one behind you?
No. Which one?
Okay. Sorry. I got that all wrong.
That looks like very familiar to me.
This one?
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, I think that might be in Brett's box next week.
Right.
All right. Good. Well, Brett's box is done. What else do we have,
Brett's
Beach?
box is empty.
I've got a few little things. All right,
what have you got, Beach?
Let's start with some accessories. Okay, so we got in some Tamiya stuff. Now, got these accessories here, which can be used on any 24 scale. So that's 24. Hang on, this one's a 24 scale one, and this is a 20th scale, and they're seat belts. Okay, so they're a fabric look sticker, so self-adhesive, and you can apply those to any custom car that you're making. Now you notice that on this one, it also includes some photo etch on the top there. That's for the 5-point harness for some extra detail. And then on this one, this is for F1 cars. So that big thing in the middle there, that's actually a mask for spraying on the tire, and that's a Bridgestone one on it. Yeah, so Bridgestone Potenza. So for a more modern F1 car, but it gives you a more natural look, because if you've seen those F1 car tires, they've been sprayed and they've got overspray everywhere. They look shocking. So if you put these on, you get that real overspray sort of look about it. Because if you put on tire decals, they look too crisp. So I've got those in. So you can see there are a variety of colors. And then on the back, you can see there's a decals there for the different colored belt as well. So it's good stuff. So you can use them for cars, but look, you don't have to use them just for cars. You can use them in whatever sort of custom build you're doing. Even Machine Krieger, you use these as seat belts just for something different. Now, apart from that, we've got in some cables. Okay, so these are the cables that you normally get in a Tamiya motorbike kit. Okay, probably give you a better idea by looking at the back. You can see one is 0.8, so that's a 0.8, and this one's 0.5, so the thinner stuff. And again, you can use these for doing ignition cables, fuel lines on cars, science fiction stuff, aircraft. And you get quite a lot of it. It's very easy to just trim it and just glue it into place. So that's some of the accessory things we just received. Apart from that, let's see. I thought I'd bring in some kits that are interesting, and I think not a lot of people really look at. These are actually the animal kits that you use for dioramas. So quite often you get your vehicle and then you get your figures, but animals sort of tie it all in together. And then pigeons, we all know, pigeons are everywhere. So pigeon here and there will add a bit more depth to your diorama. Apart from that, I've got this set here. It is just all different dogs.
What scale are the dogs?
35th scale. And here you can't go, go out to the pasture with all the sheep. You got lambs and ewes and rams. Got
Bit of mutton.
Bit of mutton. And then you can't go wrong with this one. This one's got quite a few. Got a little cat. Got your
Nothing
sheep
says
as well.
farm. Nothing says farm diorama like a suckling piggy.
Oh, there you go. Where is it? Over here. Got all your little piglets here hanging around the mummy pig, the sow. So I thought that was quite interesting because since we're building the figures, I guess you got to actually add a little animal, and then I thought carrying on from that, this is where I'm up to with the M113 build. Okay, so far
you can't put animals in that.
Yeah, you can. They drive this. Just have to modify them and they'll get in. So let me just open this up and I'll show you where I'm up to. So if you've been following the social media, you may have seen some of the photos I've got of this where I've just weathered the interior. Let me see if I can just open this up. Okay, so let me see that. So this is where I'm up to. I've just used some washes and some pigment powders just to get it all weathered up. So this is meant to be in the Vietnam War, so I had a very red dirt over there, so that's why it's got that sort of rusty tone to it. So that's where I'm at the moment with this. And just to achieve that, let me just bring these things over. So I've just used these washers like this. So these are the oil washers. Like that. That's a scale 75, so you can see the colors on the bottom. And all I do was I just put them roughly all around the inside and then use some enamel thinners and spread them around. Okay, so that's the washers. And then later I use the pigments. Okay, so I use the Vallejo pigments and there's the colors there. So they're really fine powders in there. And they're quite easy to use. You can either use them dry, or I actually mixed them with a little bit of thinner and just painted them inside. And once they dry up, you can just use some more water and just push them around to control them.
What kind
So
of
what? They come out like powder.
Yeah, it's really fine. It's like really finely ground. I don't know if you can see it. It's really fine.
That is fine.
See, I've just cleaned it up. Yeah.
Sorry, Manny, what did you say?
I was just asking VJ, what kind of thinner did you use with your pigment?
I just use acrylic thinner.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be thinner. It can be just water. The disadvantage of water is because of the surface tension, it balls up on the surface, right? So if you use acrylic thinner will tend to have alcohol in it, which will make it spread smoothly on the surface. And then I just use water just to move it around, so it doesn't tend to matter all that much. So it's pretty easy. And the other thing I've got is new tools. So these are new God Hand pliers, and these are specifically bending pliers.
Bending?
So yeah, for bending stuff, for bending metals, wires. So might be able to see, there's a little bit of an example there. Okay, so these are really thin ones. So one side is flattened, the other side is curved, so you can bend wire. You can also bend photo etch with it quite easily. And then if you bend a lot of stuff that's quite tough and you need it straight, then this one's actually got a machine, a plique, I should say, end. Probably easier if I pull it out and I'll show you. See that? Yeah, it's sort of chunky. And when you squeeze them, they're really flat. Okay, so there's a chunky edge. And then if you build, say, a lot of metal earth kits, that'll be really handy. Or even if you just do a lot of wire work, jewelry work, these are the pointy ones. So really pointy indeed. Okay, so it's interesting that these are actually machined round, and then this side has actually been flattened off. Okay, so if you need to do a right-angled bend, you do it across this side. And then if you need to do curves, you do these ones here. So quite often you get really fine photo etch. That'll be a curved, say, handle, and you don't want a really sharp edge, so you'll bend it across this way. But if you do need a sharp edge, you can turn around and bend it across the other side. Now, when you talk about needle nose pliers, that's really, really, really fine. So really nice. So brand new tools from God Hand.
Good.
So the thin ones are called the all-purpose bending pliers. And then these oblique ones, they call the Sharaku bending pliers. So they're also handy for holding parts onto a model, like so. And then you can have the item protruding from here. So you still got full visibility of it, but you can hold it, just say you're gluing it down with some super glue or something, and using that like a little vise. And it won't move. So yeah, multiple uses.
I'm going to take some to my dentist. He just uses a hammer and a chisel.
Does he? What a butcher. See, at least with these ones, the great thing about God Hand is quite often you'll get pliers and they've got a lot of side movement. These have zero side movement, you know, where the ends move like this. Zero. Really high tolerance. And that's how you tell good tools from cheap tools. See, this one too. Rock solid.
Tony should be a fan of God Hand this week.
Who?
Tony.
Tony? Nice.
What's that?
Because he got a fan.
That's right.
True that. Keep warm, keep cold for summer. Get ready.
That's right. That's it.
Cool. I've lost something. Yes, I was going to show this one actually, almost at the end here, but I think we showed this a few weeks back. Let me jump on this side. Marlon can give us more insight on this one, I guess.
Oh, there we go. Ah, big water faucet.
Indeed. So this is a Victorian specifically style one. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is based on actual blueprints from Victorian Railways engineering department for their water tower design for their for basically loading up the locomotives with water, steam locomotives.
That's it. So this is part of the Hearns Workshop range of HO parts, and this go along with your letterboxes, Marlon. And I've been attempting to paint one, but it's white and grey.
Oh,
so eventually it will become red and yellow. So this has been going really well. So we've done a range of different letterboxes actually back a few months ago, and I have a couple of other things that we are completing as part of the Hearns Workshop range. I think last week we showed the muzzles for the Stook in 16 scale. That will be released later in the year. So that's a set of 3, and we're proposing them as individual as well. They're all listed on the website, I think, by now.
Yeah,
be available. And this will be sold as an individual part, as part of a limited edition set that we'll be doing once the kit is released. We also have in 16 scale some of the ammo boxes.
Yeah, and they'll look good just put around the outside of the tank.
That's it. Very well detailed. Come in a set of 4. And then we have the S hook, which the one that comes with the tank is a bit basic, and this does add a lot more detail, isn't it, BJ?
Yeah, for sure. So the tanks, they either got fitted, depending on the time, with S hooks or with the C. That's right. And so the C hook was a little bit more technological because they had a locking mechanism in the center, which we also include, which is separate.
Yeah, I lost
that
it
wouldn't come loose off the shackles.
That's it. And then we have the final version of the Zimmer. Let's see if we can focus on this one tool. Here we go.
The Zimmer stamp. Yeah.
Stamp. That's it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so
guys.
Zimmer, if you don't know, was the anti-magnetic paste that the Germans used late in the World War II. It was mixed up of a bit of sawdust and some other chemicals and such. And the idea behind it was because the Germans had developed a magnetic mine to use against tanks, they were worried that the enemy were going to develop a magnetic mine and use it against them. And so they developed this paste, which they, at the factories, they will apply it on. It was in 2 coats. So first coat was fairly rough, the bond first, and then the second coat was put on, and then it had this rough texture put on. So the idea was it was meant to be anti-magnetic, and then also was a rough texture. It was meant to break up the look of the tank. It was meant to be semi-camouflage as well. So you'll see some really cleanly applied Zimmerit on period photos, and then also you can see some really rough stuff too, which was applied by technicians out in the field. And on the Stug, which is coming out in December, being made by Das Werk, they quite often had this waffle pattern. So basically they just used this waffle and they just punched it all into the front and all the way around the sides. And then they put these lines in it as well. So it's quite a specific look for that particular tank. And it's not the easiest thing to achieve. So that's why the stamp particular tool has been developed to make it a lot easier.
Brilliant. Very good. So that's it for Hearns Workshop. So we finalized those items this week. What else next week? I don't know. We have quite a few things. I guess the competition is a big thing for us at the moment. And I guess if anyone has any suggestion on what we should design, please let us know. As always, we can definitely look at different scale, different solutions.
Yeah.
And keep developing new products.
So we've been busy doing a lot of videos as well. So we've got I think we're up to episode 11,
10,
10, maybe 10 or 11, one of those, of building the Tamiya Phantom. So that's progressing along. That's going to need a few more episodes before that's finished. And then also building the 3D Grand Prix car that's designed by Andy Cook. So watch out for that. That's coming live on Sunday. And the build on the Tamiya kit is actually live right now. So you want to see the latest episode?
It's actually episode 10.
That's 10, right. 11's the next one, so look out for that one too.
So just I'll pop here the link of that one and jump on their YouTube channel. If you subscribe, then you'll get a video every day pretty much.
Yeah.
And
so there's a lot of videos out there by Brett as well, and also from Marlon.
That's it. So a bit of RC, a bit of train, there's a bit of everything coming out. Every day something's slightly different. So excellent. Very good.
It wasn't me, it was the moustache.
What?
That's it.
I said it wasn't me, it was the moustache.
You can't always blame the moustache.
It's become a bit of an excuse, eh?
That's
it's
right.
Very easily influenced.
That's a COVID filter.
That's it. All right, let's have a good look at the car for the one more time, and then I think we're done for tonight. Unless anyone else has any questions.
Who's getting in?
So what's with the service unit?
Screen. Wait. There we go.
So is the service unit something that was used for maintenance at the servos or people's cars or what?
You can tell it's a quality car by the thud that the door closes. That's what I always say.
There's a science involved there.
Cannot get in the engine bay.
Ah, here we go. That's really good.
Yep. You can see the battery.
It's got a battery.
Yep. You can see the radiator cap.
I won't start though, BJ.
Why? Why not?
Just
Let's give it a good rub.
You can't even push that. I tried.
A really strange fuel tank design on those, didn't they?
Is that the shiny bit?
Yeah, I've never seen a tank shaped like that before.
Seemingly so.
Good for rear end collisions.
Probably got one of
Indeed.
Simon's favourite gearboxes in there.
I think so.
Wait, what's that number plaque on the bottom? Is that a build number?
Yes.
Right.
Wow.
What is it?
1427.
Right.
And that's out of 2,700 built.
Right.
Very cool.
Indeed.
Nice.
Very good. All right, then. Who's ready for the weekend?
Yay!
Here we go.
Big week ahead for me.
Oh, dear. Don't say that.
Oh, yes. You're going
Don't
to be
say
busy.
that.
I may not wear pants between tonight's show and next week's show. That's all I'm saying.
It's okay. We don't need to know anymore.
Having a week off. I've got some bodies to paint. I've got a retro car to build. Some time to have with the wife and family. It's going to be fun.
Good stuff.
Go on. All right, everyone. As BJ suggested, just keep an eye on Facebook and social media and YouTube videos coming out every day. New products and so forth. So, yeah, keep in touch through social media. And I guess we'll be back next week. Same time, same place.
That's it. Make sure you jump
Fantastic,
onto the
guys.
competition.
Thanks
And
for
the
watching,
competition.
guys.
Very good.
Thanks,
All
everyone.
right. Good night,
See you
everyone.
later.
See you next time.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Thank you.
See ya.